everyone. Sam here, United People's TV. I'm live. It's crazy at the moment. Well, I say crazy at the moment. It's full tilt covering Manchester United this summer. It really, really is. Day to day, and the ups and the downs and the twists and the turns. And Chelsea seemingly coming after every single one of Manchester United's signings because they have no idea what they're doing this summer. How are we all doing? I'm going to speak about Benjamin Sesko this morning. I'm going to speak about Frenkie de Jong this morning, about Cristiano Ronaldo, about Erik ten Hag, There's lots and lots to discuss. Of course there are. You can see the title, you can see the overlay down there. Manchester United are battling for a 15 million plus deal for Benjamin Sesko. The 19-year-old Red Bull Salzburg striker might not have been the first name on anybody's list on, I don't know, anybody, really. A few weeks ago, all of a sudden, everyone's talking about him. The hottest prospect in European football. We'll speak about it. Man United, we went there first. We already met with his agents last week, and Chelsea were like, what are you doing? Right, we're in for him as well. Good. Yep, you too. Thank you very much. I'm going to speak about it all this morning. I'm not personally losing my shit over Chelsea coming in and trying to swoop for everybody. I think it's sort of symptomatic of a very poorly run football club in Chelsea this summer. United, you might not like it, but Erik ten Hag, and I'll pull this up here, it's a perfect intro for this. Erik ten Hag had an interview that he's going to go out with Sky Sports, presumably before the game on Sunday, and he said this one word. Actually, that's a really good comment there. I think I do have an agenda against Chelsea. It's a very good comment, Gavel. I like that sort of sarcasm. Good fun. But this is what Erik ten Hag said. He said, it's not about signing players, it's about signing the right players. Effectively reiterating and reconfirming the fact that I think that if we don't sign Frenkie de Jong, Erik ten Hag won't just go out and sign somebody else for the sake of signing somebody else. It might create short-term deficiencies in the squad, but Erik ten Hag is very steadfast. He clearly has real clarity on who he wants and why he wants them. And if it's not that person, then it's not going to be anybody. I'll build from within. That's what he trusts himself to do. I'll tell you what, in the long term, that's how you build a squad. That's how you start hitting in the transfer window. You start getting 8s and 9s and 10s in the signings instead of 3s and 4s. And we've had so many 3s and 4s. You could say, Sam, this is Erik ten Hag being a Glazer puppet. I'm like, come on, people. I think it's abundantly obvious that ten Hag will not be a puppet in any way, shape or form. He's not being a puppet with Cristiano Ronaldo. And of course, I can't not speak to you about this morning. This, he said yesterday, when he was asked about Cristiano Ronaldo and other players leaving. Of course, it wasn't just Cristiano Ronaldo. But which player is angling and pushing for an exit from the club? Ronaldo. That's why you speak about Ronaldo more. Don't try and twist it into being anything else. All right? He said this, I certainly don't, sorry. I think this is unacceptable for everyone. We are a team and you have to stay until the end. And I'm really, really glad that Erik ten Hag came out and said this and wasn't afraid to say this. Because it puts that spotlight firmly back on Ronaldo and all those players who left for a lack of discipline. And that's why it made no sense to me whatsoever. It's why I did that video on Sunday night. As I said, it's not a typical video of me. I question whether I should put it out. As it transpires, it was the right thing to do because it didn't make any sense. When you logically took a step back and you look at everything that ten Hag had been doing this pre-season with all the discipline that he's been instilling into the players, the idea that he would go, yeah, all right, Cristiano, and all the other players, yeah, go on in, you can leave half an hour early. Just go and jump into an ice bath. It didn't align. It didn't match up. It didn't make any sense to me. And lo and behold, it didn't make any sense because it wasn't the case. He didn't let anybody leave early. He didn't let Ronaldo leave early. He didn't let any other player leave early. And no doubt they will be disciplined for it. But I was happy to see that he did that yesterday because he has to hold a firm grip on that the discipline and the noise coming out of the club. And there's people, as I say, that there's people, look, it's been all over Twitter yesterday about what Goldbridge has been saying. It's why you have to be responsible when you've got platforms. Because if you spread the wrong side, and instead he just doubled down on it. It was a weird flex yesterday. It really was a weird flex. Because if you spread the wrong information, then you empower people to think the wrong things. And that's what I try and avoid here on the channel. Jesus, I'm not fucking perfect. I get some things wrong. I really do. But to double down on that, it's a really weird flex. Ronaldo doesn't want to be at the club. I don't want him at the club. Done. But speaking of somebody I do want on the club, let's move on to the good news. Actually, no, that is good news. Ten Hag coming out and saying that, it's not bad news. I'm really, really glad he did it. Really glad he did it. And let's see what the reaction is from Ronaldo, because as far as we can see, Ronaldo's going to be staying. Not because he wants to be here. Not because Man United massively want him. I think Man United as a commercial entity will probably want Ronaldo at the club. I don't think Ten Hag will now. But what's he going to do? No club wants Ronaldo. It's such a fall from grace, isn't it? Literally the greatest goal scorer, probably of all time, has been begging for another club. And they've all said no, 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 no. To the point where he's come back to Manchester United, tail between his legs, and now he's going to have to play for a manager who, wait, Ronaldo's going to be on the bench. Definitely for Brighton, maybe for a few games after. And so he should be. But let's move on to players coming in. And let's speak about Benjamin Sesko. Of course, it was last week was that performance against Liverpool. I spoke about Benjamin Sesko when I ran through my Ronaldo replacement video. I said, look, if we're going to sort of maybe angle towards a different type of signing, then maybe we'll consider Benjamin Sesko from Salzburg. And it's nice to see that United are doing that. It's nice to see that we're going in the right direction. And of course, Fabrizio Romano, as he always is leading the story on Benjamin Sesko. He said this yesterday. Let me run through all the updates here from Fabrizio, from The Telegraph, from James Ducker, from Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, and we'll speak about it all in detail in the comments. Fabrizio said this yesterday. It says, key days for Benjamin Sesko's future with contacts ongoing. United know they have to be fast after meeting with his agent a few days ago. There are 2 more clubs in the race. Sesko will make a decision soon with his agent and his family. Big up to you, Luke, by the way, saying like the stream, guys. And Sam, look, as I say, everyone's entitled to enjoy what you want. I'm not saying don't enjoy what you want to. But don't spread misinformation. And don't double down on it as well. Weird. Really weird flex. Who am I going to trust? The media or what's fucking coming out of my manager's mouth? I don't know. Come on, people. As I say, come on. We go over here and let's see what James Ducker is saying on the Sesko situation. He goes, the De Jong saga is having a knock-on effect on United's other transfer business, not least Ten Hag's desire to strengthen his attack. RB Salzburg and Slovenia striker Benjamin Sesko is one of my target of interest, but United have been put off by his 50 million plus price tag. I mean, it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot, and I've said this for quite a while, pretty much since the story first came out. We're going to overpay for Sesko this summer. If we sign him, if Chelsea, if anybody signs him, they're going to overpay compared to his market value. It is what it is, because these days, when it comes to young, up-and-coming talents, you don't just pay for what that player is worth. You pay in part of what that player is probably going to be worth in a few years' time. That's why I think so, anyway. That's why you always end up overpaying. A couple of super chats flying in. What you're saying here, Shane. Go on, Sam. I'm excited about the way Eric runs the squad. Hope he gets Sesko, Anthony, and De Jong. I'll be majorly excited then. We won't be getting Anthony. Anthony will be getting outpriced for De Jong. Well, we've all got our hopes up there. And Sesko, we've got a real chance of getting Sesko. Look, of course, there's a comment there from somebody, Chris, saying, look, Sesko could be worth 100 million a year or two. It's exactly why we're going to be overpaying for Sesko this summer, because Salzburg want a slice of that pie. And kind of fair enough, rightly so. Go down here. United have been put off by that price tag, and ideally want a number 6 in the building first. So James Ducker there saying that Man United ideally want to get this De Jong situation sorted, but that's not something we can wait for. That really isn't. Because Barcelona, and I will speak about it later, it's just the longer it goes on, the weirder and crazier this Barcelona story becomes. Honestly, it's mind-boggling what they've done this summer. And Man United have just got stuck in the spider's web. That's what we're doing. I don't think we've done too much wrong with De Jong this summer. We took a little bit too long to get the original fee agreed, but once that fee was agreed, which has been done for, feels like the best part of a month, and we still haven't signed him, that's not our fault. moving on from what James Ducker here is saying on Sesko, we go and we see what Laurie Whitwell has said on him. He said, United are searching for strikers and John Murtough met the agent of Sesko last Wednesday. More talks are planned this week, hopefully. United face competition from Chelsea and possibly Liverpool. Liverpool aren't going to sign him. They're not going to spend that much on him. And Chelsea, well, I'll speak about Chelsea in a bit. Don't worry about that. I've got a special little segment for Chelsea. United face competition. They've got a good relationship with Red Bull Group. United have scouted Sesko since he was at Domzal, a club in Slovenia back in... This is quite funny. I don't know what the point of this is. It's not funny, really. Back then, in 2019, United viewed a €3 million price as excessive. Staff at Salzburg have speculated that Sesko could be even better than Haaland. Of course they are. Even if United agree terms, sources do not believe Sesko should be relied upon to produce immediately in the Premier League. But he will be. He absolutely will be. And yeah, once upon a time, the idea of a 19-year-old coming into your team and making having a significant impact immediately was a bit of a foreign concept. Not a foreign concept, but it was a rarity, a real rarity. Not anymore, man. The Jadon Sancho and the Erling Haaland examples are prime examples, and Jude Bellingham, basically Dortmund. Teenagers can make a serious difference now. They are so much better at a younger age than they were previously. Jibak, thank you very much, buddy. What are you saying? You're saying we won't do early deals in a window because the manager is new and yet to start. We won't pay high for a player 3 weeks before the window's shut. What do we want to do apart from paying millions of dividends? I think we wanted to do deals early in the window. That's not really got anything to do with Erik ten Hag starting. The work was going on and it just took so long to agree that initial fee on deal. As I say, that was down to Murtough, and that was a slight error, I think. And you know what United do? We kind of typically do one deal at a time. And now we're moving on to Sesko, but at the same time, this De Jong situation is still unfolding. But with Sesko, as I said, I've run through all the latest there from James Ducker from the Telegraph and all the comments here on Sesko from Laurie Whitwell. And of course, this happened yesterday. And there was a massive reaction online. Immediate reaction online. Of course there was. Fabrizio Romano saying exclusively that Chelsea had meetings with the agent of Benjamin Sesko last week. United have had more than one direct meeting, but there's also another club in the race. The decision is up to the player in the next few days, as RB Salzburg hope to keep him for one more year. I don't think that's a reality anymore. They're going to sell him this summer. There's too much interest now, and they will be able to get the price tag they want. Chelsea coming in creates a bit of a bidding war. And I just want to comment here on this Chelsea situation, right? Because it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. Chelsea are going in for Frenkie de Jong. Everybody loses their mind. Yesterday, Chelsea are going in for Sesko. Everybody loses their mind. If it was Chelsea a couple of years ago, then maybe I would be equally as much losing my mind. Doesn't really make sense. Maybe I would lose my mind as well. But this is a club who has absolutely no idea what they are doing this summer. And you don't really normally say that about Chelsea in the summer transfer window, because they spend big, they get what they want. That's kind of what Chelsea have done for a long time now. Instead, they've got a new owner in Todd Bowley, who's just sacked everybody. And he's gone, you know what? I know what I'm doing here. Let me do it. And this summer, we've just sat there and witnessed Chelsea go after Koundé. He's gone to Barcelona. Chelsea, they're going to get Rafinha. No, he's gone to Barcelona as well. What's going on with Frenkie? Yeah, we'll go after Frenkie de Jong. Who's Benjamin? Yeah, him too. We'll go after him. But what if we can't sign him? Hell, sod it. Let's go and try and get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as well. They're already in talks over a possible deal there. Sod that. Why don't we just go and sign Wesley Fofana for €75 million as well? Stuback is exactly what it is. Todd Bowley has come in and has, because he's got the bucks, because he's the guy, he goes, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Chestan, of course, yeah. Delict as well. Chelsea are in a Woodward situation where they've got an owner who doesn't know what they're doing. The thing I am worried about is the fact that they've got an absolute ton of money, and I don't particularly think they care how much they pay for players now. They just want players in. They're sort of desperate for players. Obviously got Koulibaly and Sterling, who are two excellent signings, but Tuchel wanted 3 centre-backs. And the fact that they are in conversations over Aubameyang, that is such a weird idea. Suits Barcelona, by the way, because Aubameyang's in the exact same situation as De Jong is. Aubameyang, when he signed for the club last, I think it was in January, wasn't it? He was only paid like 10% of his wages, so they could afford to register him, and he deferred the overwhelming majority of them to this season. So he's owed about 20 million by Barcelona this season. Sound familiar? Yeah, it does sound familiar, because Barcelona's an absolute joke of a club. Just look at Rooney as a teenager's impact. Dean, you're right there, but as I say, when you're going that far back, you're looking at individuals. There aren't that many players like, well, there aren't. Rooney was Rooney. There aren't that many teenagers at that point that had the sort of impact that teenagers are having these days. And fast forwarding as well. Look at this. As I say, Chelsea wanted 3 centre-backs. No. They missed out on a number of Matthijs de Ligt. Now they're about to spend 50 million on Cucurella just because City's not signing him. Yeah, it's mad. Honestly, like I would understand people losing their minds over Chelsea being in for De Jong and Chelsea being in for Sesko previously. I don't think this is the summer where you lose your mind. I think if you're honestly, and I'm not. If you're looking at this from a Sesko perspective, try and take your red-tinted specs off and try and analyse and sit and put Chelsea next to Manchester United and you compare them. Chelsea have got London. Yeah, Manchester's a great town, great city. It really is. It's not what it's come a long way. And with City and United, it's got, 2 powerhouses there now, unfortunately. You've got the manager in Erik ten Hag, who's, if we do sign Sesko, I think Ten Hag's going to be a significant factor in all of this. He really will be. As a 19-year-old coming through, he's going to go into a Chelsea team, which, who have they got? Werner, they're trying to get rid of him. Havertz, they got him too. He's got Champions League football there, of course, right? And as Ian points out, a very good tram system up in Manchester. But look, I'm not going to say here that Chelsea might not come in and swoop and steal Sesko and swoop and steal De Jong. I mean, there is a possibility of both of those things happening, but I don't think it's don't lose your mind. All right, we went in for Sesko first. We've already had a couple of meetings. We are leading the chase there. We were first to that door, and that will give us an advantage. And when I think if you weigh both of those up, and you see what Sesko will be for Manchester United this season, and the idea that he can probably learn from Ronaldo for a year, I think if we agree the fee with Salzburg and we pay it, as I say, it's going to have to be similar to what we paid for Anthony Martial. Right? It will be a lot. Probably be the world's most expensive teenager if we sign him, just like Martial was when we signed him. But I think comparing the two clubs and two situations, I think United beat Chelsea in terms of this Sesko situation. The De Jong one, maybe that's a different ball game altogether. But speaking of De Jong, let's move on. And before I move on, I'll read a few of your comments out down here, as I always do. Look, I love how interactive these are. I do genuinely try to answer as many of your questions that you send in. I always answer your super chats when you send them in, so make sure you drop a like on the video. It's not easy to do, but sometimes I do it. Let's see what else is down here. Chelsea are only venting as a result of what Barcelona did to them. Honestly, man, Chelsea, I love watching this from Chelsea, because Chelsea have pissed me off. Chelsea were the reason that the Premier League manifested itself into what it is now, because Abramovich came in with Mourinho and they just threw money at everything. They were the first oil club. They were the ones who rocked that boat and switched that. And then, well, Mourinho came in, we know what happened there. Lots of you mentioning Ziyech down there in the comments. I will be speaking about Ziyech later in the show. And again, like we spoke about Sesko when I talked about Ronaldo alternatives, I put Ziyech as the number one Anthony alternative. I do know what I'm talking about sometimes. Only sometimes, though. See what you're saying down here. James, what are you saying, sir? Do you think we'll sign Sesko and give them one of our players on loan? It's a possibility, but in terms of a replacement for Sesko, I mean, Amad Diallo is not exactly a replacement for Sesko. Who else could go out on loan? Chong, you could send him there. I think we should just be selling Chong. I don't think there's an... You could technically send Charlie McNeil there. Maybe that's an idea. It's something worth thinking about, but Charlie McNeil's not even really been playing under 23s football yet, so maybe he's going to be staying at the club. Jordan Massey. I'm tired of Barcelona trying to ruin every big club signing. How can they afford to buy players with them in so much debt? We need to start slapping. Someone needs to start slapping Barcelona, my word. Nicky, I wouldn't give any credence to that whatsoever. Not in the slightest. But look, let's talk about the De Jong situation. As I say, Chelsea, I said it on Twitter last night. I said Chelsea are acting like a drunk in a kebab shop. Like, they're looking at the menu. They're like, I want pizza. I want a 3-piece chicken and chips. Oh, fuck, Jesus, I also want a peri-peri chicken wrap. I don't know what I want. I want it all. That's what Chelsea are doing at the moment. They have no idea what their targets are. As I say, you might disagree with Erik ten Hag's how specific he's being with the targets he's going after, but we're not going with a scattergun approach. We've got De Jong, and we've clearly identified Sesko. How many other strikers are we in conversations with? How many other strikers have you seen us be linked with? Not many, if any. Sasa Kaladzic is a name that's come up, but we're being hyper-focused on our targets. And that's going to be great if we end up signing those targets. But I don't know. I still maintain that we'll be happy in this window, and I hope I don't have egg on my face there. But look, as I say, don't worry too much about Chelsea. I don't think so anyway. And of course, this happened 2 days ago, I think. Chelsea are also in talks to hijack Man United's protracted attempts to sign Frenkie de Jong. And look, they've also made inquiries to Kyle Walker-Peters, Denzel Dumfries. They're basically playing Football Manager, and they've set it to an unlimited budget, and they're just going out and signing whoever they want. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter if the manager wants them. Let's just go and sign them. And we go over here, and this is the Athletics update on this De Jong situation. It said senior United sources continue to reject claims that De Jong is not interested in moving to Old Trafford. They view the primary obstacle as financial rather than emotional. Wages owed to the player, much rests on that judgment being correct, of course. And that's something that I've reiterated here quite a lot of times. The idea that De Jong wants to stay at Barcelona is a separate concept to the idea that he doesn't want to play for Manchester United. I think so anyway. Maybe I've got some red-tinted specs on in that, and that's what I want to believe. And in that sense, I can sort of understand that. But I just refuse to think that a man that is so principled as Erik ten Hag has proven those principles so far in all of his pre-season work, in all of the discipline he's doing, that he would just go this far down the line with this signing without having some sort of assurances from De Jong. Again, and my gut was right on the Ronaldo situation. It made no sense. It didn't slot into the character and the personality of Ten Hag that we've started to learn in the pre-season, for the idea that he's just going to let them leave 20 minutes early. In the same way, I don't think that he will be going this far down the line with De Jong without hearing from Frenkie himself that he would join Manchester United. That's what I personally think. And I was correct on the Ronaldo one. Let's find out if we're all correct. But I'll be honest, I think there's a lot of guesswork going on in the media. I don't think anybody really truly knows what's going on with the De Jong situation. That's the way I'm looking at it. A little super chat flying in there. Let me read this one out. Dave, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you there. I don't understand how the FFP haven't got involved in what's happening at Barca. They are spending money they haven't got. It's because, Dave, it's not FFP. FFP was brought in so that clubs couldn't just go out and spend $1 billion on new signings. They're not spending $1 billion. What they're doing is selling off. They're selling off their bedroom. They're selling off their bathroom. They're selling off their assets to try and then raise funds immediately. What they're doing is so dangerous. So dangerous. And I hope it spectacularly fails for Barcelona, because what they're doing is insane. And I'll come on to that in a bit. Honestly, I'm not finished on the Barcelona situation, but this is the update from James Ducker on the De Jong situation. Again, reiterating the same thing that Laurie Whitwell's doing. United insist that they would not have gone this far down the line if they did not believe that De Jong was willing to come, but the clock is ticking. And there is also now the threat of Chelsea muscling it. As I said to you when this Chelsea story emerged, it's basically the perfect situation for Barcelona. They want a bidding war. They want Chelsea to come in for De Jong and for United. I don't know whether this is going to force Manchester United to, in part, pay those wages. My gut kind of tells me that I think that's going to happen. It feels like that's going to be the point where this negotiation changes. Because Barcelona aren't... There's no way at this... Given how Barcelona have acted so far this summer, right? I think there's no chance that out of nowhere, Barcelona go, you know what? We will pay you an extra 10 million, Frenkie de Jong. Here's that 10 million for you. That doesn't line up with everything, with the way that Barcelona have been acting this summer. That just won't happen. Which means the money for those wages have to come from somewhere else. Because if they don't, de Jong will stay. If those wages aren't sorted, de Jong will stay at Barcelona. And Man United will have to wait a year to sign him. It's such an interesting situation. Interesting is not the right word. It's absolutely full-blown mad. This is coming from Cope, which is obviously a Spanish radio station. He's saying, look, with the first two levers, that stupid word, levers, activated by Barcelona, the economic control of La Liga will account for 517 million euros, not the 667 million euros that the club anticipated. Therefore, there is a gap of 150 million euros. This bloke and those accountants, those sneaky accountants, as I say, it's like Better Call Saul. The sneaky accountants have got it wrong. Barcelona are 150 million short of what they thought that these levers were going to do. And they still can't register players. It is hilarious. It is hilarious watching this. Hilarious is the wrong word, because we're caught up, as I say, we're caught up in the middle. We're stuck in this. We're stuck in this spider's web. But Barcelona now, we're hearing reports that they're going to ask Piqué to take another wage cut, Busquets to take another wage cut, because they've messed up. They've got their numbers wrong. They thought that they were going to have enough to register the players, and they still do not. I mean, Thomas, that's one way of putting it. The accounting that they are doing is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely just bonkers. They are dragging that club into potentially a financial abyss they will not be able to come out of. They are selling off all the assets of the club to try and fund. They've done it before. Barcelona previously had a load of short-term loans that they spent on signings, and then they consolidated all of those short-term loans into one long loan. And then that become like the debt of the club. But it's not something that they have to pay back every year, or just like a standard debt. Now, because they got this wrong, they're either going to have to sell off another 25% of Barca Studios, get a ton of players to have more wage cuts, or sell Frenkie de Jong. Which one of those situations is it going to be? Now, I need to find out the date where this new salary cap gets confirmed, right? Because there is a deadline coming up at some point in August where Barcelona's books have to be completed for the previous year. And it's still at this point, they can add the sale of de Jong onto those books. They can still add more of these economic levers onto those books. And once that's done, because you saw it, I pulled up the quote from Laporta yesterday. He was saying that the club's revenue was like $1 billion and they're like 124 million euros in profit. Oh man, like someone mentioned it there earlier, like cooking the books. That is the biggest understatement in the world. It's like they've got a credit card debt, and to pay that off, they've got a new credit card. And to pay those two off, they've got a new credit card. And you see where I'm going? And that's what happens. Some people can get into that. That's what happens with financial... When people get stuck into debt, that really happens. They think the only way to solve that debt is to get more debt to pay off that debt. And you just turn into a spiral. Barcelona are begging for the European Super League to come back and for them to get money. That's what they want. But United... We've been stuck in this situation. We really have. I almost wish like we didn't go after de Jong because of it. I also don't think that anybody could have predicted this. When we went after de Jong, nobody could have predicted that Barcelona would act the way they have acted this summer. It's taken everybody by surprise. Every established journalist, everybody's looking at Barcelona and going, what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? And no one knows. No one can understand it because there is no logic to it, right? And that's the situation. More mess at Barcelona. They've got the numbers wrong. They've cooked the books wrong on the things they were trying to do with these levers. They've left themselves short. And now they're trying to get either more players to take pay cuts, do another lever, sell off more of the club, or sell Frenkie de Jong. They're the three solutions to Barcelona registering players. Which one of those they take, we don't know. But that's why there is no solution right now. That's why de Jong has not resolved his wage problem with Barcelona. That's why Chelsea have had the time to come in and try and sort this. We've agreed the deal with Barca, man. People are trying to say this is compared to the Fabregas situation. You obviously don't remember the Fabregas situation. We spent all summer haggling with Barcelona over the fee for Fabregas. It took us ages to get the fee sorted. And by the time we got that sorted, it was too late. And Fabregas was like, if I start these first couple of games, I'm not leaving. And then he started and he scored like 2 goals, I think, on that first game, and he didn't leave. It's not a Fabregas situation. It really isn't. And you're down here saying, sorry, but de Jong's not worth 450 to 500k a week. It'll destroy our wage structure for years to come. I mean, Ronaldo kind of fucked all that up, didn't he? De Jong is so important to this Ten Hag system that the wages are kind of, I wouldn't say they're irrelevant, because they are relevant, but it's different. And certainly if we absorb some of those wages that we have to pay him, that's all part and parcel of it. Manuel, what have you missed? Is saying, saw Chelsea are interested in Sesko. Do you think they can get Ronaldo as a late? Hell, have Ronaldo, man. Boof. We're having Sesko, you can have Ronaldo. Jeez. It's crazy paying him anything like that. I have no idea how much he's going to get paid, right? Let's not speculate over wages because we're not at that point yet, right? We are absolutely not at that point yet. We have no idea what the wages are going to be. It might be 200, 230 grand a week. We don't know. It might be 300 grand a week. Let's find out. But let's not get bogged down into conversations about wages when we are just purely and utterly speculating. Speculating won't help anybody. But yeah, quite a few of you have been mentioning this in the comments. Hakim Ziyech. We're seeing reports from France saying this. Manchester United manager wants to sign Hakim Ziyech, but members of the recruitment department, we've got a recruitment department? I didn't know that. Are not unanimous about his profile, hence the lack of current movement on any possible deal. What do they know about the profile more than Ten Hag does? Ten Hag is the person leading the profiles. He's the person leading. He was the person. I bet Man United didn't even know who Tyrell Malacia was until Erik Ten Hag mentioned him. So the idea that's, honestly, I don't even know what our recruitment. We've got Steve Brown. I think he's head of recruitment operations. I don't know who else is new. But Hakim Ziyech, it makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. It really does. Like Anthony was brought in to Ajax to replace Ziyech. We can't go after Anthony this summer. We won't be able to afford him. We'll go after Anthony next summer and we'll get him for probably 50, 60 million, a fairer market value. Bring in Hakim Ziyech, who Erik Ten Hag knows inside out, for a cut price. You let me know how much you think that Ziyech will cost. But I don't think you're going to be looking at too much more than like 10 to 15 million. I think pretty much what we paid for Tyrell Malacia is probably what we could get Ziyech for. Because Chelsea have already signed Sterling. He's surplus to requirements. I think it strikes me as a very smart and a very logical signing. Not one that's going to be transformative in the long term for Manchester United, but somebody who comes in this summer, does the job, probably does it quite well, I think. Will certainly be a better player than he was at Chelsea. And then we get Anthony next summer. That's progression. That's a plan. I like the sound of that. Chelsea, there's no way that they're going to get 35 million for him, man. Come on, they just signed Raheem Sterling for 45 million from City. You think they're going to get 35 million? No chance. 15, 20 million. I've seen really low reports on him. 20 million. I don't know what you're saying. Some very, very different numbers being banded around down here. But for me, I don't think it would cost that much, and he would massively solve a bit of a problem that we've got for a fair price. So for me, I hope that this comes to fruition. I hope that the Ziyech rumours sort of start intensifying. Maybe this is a deal that we can get done later in the window, because I feel like it's a very straightforward thing to do. Chelsea don't need him. Chelsea need to get rid of players. Well, they don't need to get rid of players. They can just have whatever wage bill they want. But he's surplus to requirements. He was surplus to requirements before they even brought in Raheem Sterling. I don't think it would cost I don't think it goes anywhere near 35 million. somewhere between 10 and 20 million would be my estimation. I know it's a bit of a big ballpark, but that's what I would go for. You can let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Well, you just did that, actually, I suppose. Some good news for Manchester United. We had the confirmation yesterday. Alex Telles, he is going to Sevilla. That's him landing in the airport. Oh, look, that's a nice little photo bomb. Have a great time. A little bit more detail on the deal is that we won't be getting a loan fee for him, but Sevilla are going to pay 100% of his wages. Good. We might not get the loan fee, okay, but you know that's basically, it seems like we've turned down that loan fee and say, look, you pay all the wages, but you don't have to pay a loan fee. How about that? They agreed to that. Alex Telles, you know, good luck to what you do there, but have a good season so we can then sell you for some decent money. Jonathan, I'm putting this up again. You're completely wrong. You're completely wrong. Oh, you're not completely wrong, because I'm just speculating here. But Chelsea, as we've seen so far, like, Premier League clubs are dealing with Premier League clubs now. It was kind of like, previously it was kind of a taboo thing to do. But I think it's been shown now that that's not really the case anymore, certainly when they named City. But look, Alex Telles there, go and smash it in Sevilla, please, so we can then sell you next summer for a decent fee. Telles leaving, good. Sevilla, if you fancy it, go for Eric Bailly as well. Nice, good bit of business there. Get both of them. Happy days. Maybe Bailly is going to be the same situation. In terms of actual fees, I think we could probably get a good fee for Eric Bailly, and I think we could probably get a good fee for Brandon Williams. Other than those two, I think we're probably looking at loan deals. Oh, jeez, man, apart from Phil Jones. Phil Jones. My word. I honestly don't know what to say about Phil Jones anymore. And I don't mean that in a horrible way as a human being. Remember when he came in, was it Watford last year? Where he put in an absolute barnstorming performance? I wish Phil Jones the absolute best of luck outside of Manchester United. I just want him to be leaving Manchester United. I don't want to have a conversation about Phil Jones anymore, man. 51 tries down there saying, look, Bailly would be a good replacement for Koundé. Yeah, you're probably right there. Garnacho, of course, Garnacho's staying. Garnacho's going absolutely nowhere. But look, yeah, Telles, good. Step one, but there's more that needs to be done. In my opinion, we've spoken about this before, we need Bailly, we need Tuanzebe, we need Phil Jones, that's 3 more. And then depending on what goes on with Ethan Laird, I think he's going Watford. Maybe Brandon Williams can go there too. What's going on there? There's honestly 5 or 6 players still at this point in the window that could leave between now and the end of August. There really is. Rooney, get on the phone to Phil Jones. Bring him over to, what is it, DC? Come on. MLS. Perfect. A little bit of sunshine. Have a great time out there. I think that's completely wrong. I don't think it's a case of Phil. It's not a case of Phil wanting to leave. Of course he does, man. Phil has spent, as I say, from a human perspective, we can all empathise with that. Well, we can't. We don't really understand it, but we can empathise. Like, Jesus, man. Years and years and years of injury heartbreak, man, for him. And he's finally fit and ready to play. He won't just want to sit at Manchester United and warm the bench anymore. He'll want to play football. And I hope that move to play for Rooney and to play at DC works out for him. And I think that will happen. Rooney wants him, won't pay his wages. Let's see what goes on there. I don't think Laird will stay. I think Laird will go out on loan to a championship club for a full season. Leonard, you joined in live for the first time. Big up to you. Make sure you drop a like on the video. But look, everybody, fire in your questions. I'll answer as many as I possibly can. I like to do that throughout the show. You know that. Mark, you're saying Chelsea can have Bailly for 40 million. Better than Ake. Yeah, you can have it for 40 million easy. And then just give us Siak in return for free. Oh, look at that. Gungshi, happy Chinese Valentine's Day. I didn't know that. 4th of August. I need to remember that one. Keep up the great work, Sam. Thank you very much, Gungshi. I hope you're still enjoying that shirt. I hope you've worn it. Arthur saying, love your work and thanks for the chats. Cheers, dude. Thank you very much. We're now linked with Ziyech, said Liam. Yeah, we just covered that. Not sure why we didn't get him earlier. It's because United have been focused elsewhere. We know exactly where United's focus has been so far this summer. It's been all on Frenkie de Jong. All on Frenkie. And at this moment in time, it's not quite gone through. Carlton Cole down there in the comments saying, look, not that Carlton Cole. Maybe it is that Carlton Cole. I don't know. We need Neves from Wolves. Eric Ten Hag's made it clear, ladies and gents. I think so anyway. He made it clear when he first spoke about it. He's made it clear again in this interview that's going out probably for the game on Sunday. He's not signing replacements for anybody because he needs replacements. He's either getting who he wants or he's dealing with what he's got. And that might not be an approach that we all agree with. The that's what Ten Hag is doing, and I've got to trust my manager there. Jonathan, Chong, Williams, Tuanzebe, Loans, Jones, Wan-Bissaka, Bai, Laird, all need shifting. Van der Beek and Martial too, but we know that won't happen now. Donny is he had a lot of minutes in pre-season. He had some good performances, but again, other games where it just passed him by, and people are like, "Oh, Sam, you can't say that. He's a person who runs into space and creates space for others." But from an attacking sense, we didn't work. Donny van der Beek is a good player, and I hope he becomes a good squad player for Manchester United. But right now, he's not at the level where we need him to be starting every week in the Premier League. Not anywhere near. Who's mentioning Verratti? Verratti? Is Verratti leaving PSG? That's a bit of a random one. We need a left-footed winger. It's very key. I mean, Garnacho's got a good left peg on him. Herbert asking about Wan-Bissaka. We don't know about Wan-Bissaka. I think it's a case of wages. Wages are pretty much stopping anybody from going after Wan-Bissaka. Certainly Crystal Palace. And you can't really blame them either. Let me go down here. This will be a good one to read out. Let me read this. Abdul, you are so naive. Barca have raised 800 million from asset sales, 617 million, not 800 million, and only spent 150 million on transfers. Please drop the narratives that we are just selling to buy. Hey, Abdul, man, good luck with your club, but get your head out of that sand, my friend. You need to, trust me. David, what are you saying, sir? If we do get Sesko, will he play exclusively in your... Oh, no. He will not just play in Europa League games. Sesko will come in and firmly be a first-choice striker for Erik Ten Hag, right? No doubt about it. Will he be good enough to do it every single week? I don't know whether he'll be good to do enough every single week. Chelsea are going after him. He looks like a physical monster. He really does, and that's obviously where the comparisons with Haaland have come in. Will he be as good? Who cares? He's obviously got talent, and we've got a manager. We've got a manager who we know has a pure track record over the course of a good few years, with tons of examples of taking talented teenagers and turning them into world-class stars. That's how Erik Ten Hag built his reputation as a great coach, and he would do the same thing hopefully with Benjamin Sesko. And there's something different. It's like Louis van Gaal likes signing preferred to work with younger players too, because when you're so headstrong with a mindset and a system, and we know Louis van Gaal was stubborn and he was kind of stuck in his ways. Didn't really work for him. That's why it's better for someone like Ten Hag or Klopp to work with slightly younger players who aren't really at that top level yet, because you can then mould them into being your type of striker, your type of player. You can teach them how to play your system, and they'll take to it. That's why I think so anyway. Benjamin Sesko, I think, will be a very exciting signing. And signing young players who have the potential to become world-class stars, they're, for me, the most exciting signings that United have ever made and will continue to make. And that's why I would love us to move on, or actually move back, really, to that sort of policy. Signing players who really have the potential to become world-class stars at our club if they're coached correctly. And in Erik Ten Hag, I would trust him to do that. Let me see what you're saying down here. The media has said that, says Corey. I've seen that he would choose United, plus he would prefer to play for Ten Hag than Chelsea. As I say, Chelsea, we spoke about it, Chelsea and United have got different allures for different reasons. But I think at this point in his career, I think United ticks a few more boxes than Chelsea does for Sesko, unless he's got some mad obsession of playing in the Champions League this season alone, which would seem a bit short-sighted from a 19-year-old, and I don't think so anyway. But let's find out, I suppose, in the next week or two. I think this is really going to go... It feels like it's going to have to be aggressive and quick for Sesko, because Chelsea now are in the mix, and Chelsea are desperate. They're trying to sign somebody, anybody. Please, let me just sign some players. Aubameyang, come on. Fofana, in you come. Cucurella, we're going in. That's what they're doing. They're just desperate for signings now. See what else he's saying down here. Sesko, not Desk. Did I say the wrong name? Anyway, Craig saying, look, if you can't sign Frenkie de Jong, Milinkovic, Savic, Lema would be good. As I say, man, Craig, man, you can throw names in here, and I know you're probably correct. It's not happening. Erik Ten Hag is de Jong, or I'm developing from within. And you can disagree with that to your heart's content. That's what our manager's going to do. And we'll find out across the course of the season whether he was justified in doing that. I think he's going to struggle with the midfield quality that we've got. I don't doubt that whatsoever. I also don't doubt that the players who we have in that midfield last season, will be better players this season, for sure. And maybe there'll be somebody that will surprise us. That'll be nice. Aggressive. Hey, look, we have done it before. I think Donny van der Beek was one where we did it, but we have to be. Time is now of the essence. When you take time away, which we don't have really much anymore, it forces the hand. But as I say, United haven't reacted with Sesko. We've been proactive, and it's something I ask my football club to do a lot of, and I rarely see it. Chelsea are the ones reacting to Man United being proactive. We went and we spoke with his agent last week before they played Liverpool, and then he came into so again, that gives us an advantage in negotiation. I think so anyway. Let's find out what's going on here, but we're in a stronger position than Chelsea are, for sure. And CMDR, yeah, we spoke about this earlier. Barcelona asking Gerard Piqué and Sergio Busquets to take another pay cut. Joke of a football club. Absolute joke of a football club. This guy's trying to do everything in his power, not to solve the debt of the club, but to sign a shit ton of players. Because they've just made 600 million, should be massively reducing their debt. Nah, let's spend it all on signings. Woo! That's what he's doing. I'll read a few more of your comments out down here. I mean, that's a bad lie. That's a definite bad lie. Fred's got a great energy tank. McNeil and Sesko, what's the difference, Sam? Charlie McNeil, prolific goal scorer at that level, but he's at that level, and he's at the same age as Sesko. He's already played a full adult season inside the Austrian Bundesliga. He's already done. It's obvious that at their ages that there are different levels. Charlie McNeil, I think he's going to be having a loan spell before he comes anywhere near the first team. Chris, how many more signings do you think we'll make before the end of the window, and who? I think I want to say 3. In an ideal situation, that's going to be Sesko, De Jong, and Ziyech. Dream scenario, I think. Then we end the season with 6 signings, and some with 6 signings, in a very good position. I don't know how many. We obviously won't make any more than 3, but in a dream situation, we sign 3, right? That's what I think so anyway. Wow, that was a big show. I keep saying it every day, and I don't mean to sort of get caught in hyperbole too much, but it really is so busy right now. I'm really glad I do these shows in the morning, because I swear to God, even I need these shows to try and keep on top of everything that's happening. Every morning it takes about an hour to properly do the research, because there's so many different stories that fly around everywhere. Hard to keep your head around it all. I hope I do a good job, and I hope you do enjoy it. So make sure you please drop a like on the video. It does make a big difference. It only takes you a second. And subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Of course I will be. And today's lunchtime video, you'll enjoy this one. It's my full Manchester United season preview. Predictions for the Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup, top scorer, best player, top assists, all the good stuff. All my predictions for this season, so you'll definitely want to check that out. But I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Unless your name's Barcelona, then just liquidate yourself, really.